How's it going, everybody? Hexit here, and I have decided to start my FIFA 16 career mode with Crystal Palace in the Barclays Premier League. So they've got a £17 million budget, which I think's decent, and I do believe it will be a fun career mode to do. You may have noticed that I am playing on professional, because you may think, oh, shouldn't you play on world class? World class for me at the minute is a bit too difficult, but if it does get a bit unrealistic, I will move it up to world class, because I don't want this to be a career mode where I just win everything, because that just won't make it realistic. So I'm just setting up my name and everything, accept the Champions League and do the updates. But hopefully this career mode will be enjoyable for not just me but for you to watch. In the games I'll be doing little clips of the games, not a full game. So now I move on to the pre-season tournament. I decided to go for the end one, which is easier, but it gives me the second best budget, so I thought that's realistic to win with. So now what you're going to see me do is I go onto my team management and I look at my team and see what I can do. So I decided to put Balassi on the wing. He's a year younger than Sacco and a higher rated, and Balassi has loads of flair. Also bring on Kabai to play in that CDM role with MacArthur, and I decided to play Connor Wickham up front instead of Gale. I do highly rate Gale, it's just Wickham was 2 years younger and a higher rated, but I will be looking to bring in a new striker. Joe Ward holds this spot. I did compare it to Martin Kelly, but Ward looked better on paper. I am going to look at some centre-backs because Scott Danny's 28 and I'm happy with him, but my other centre-backs there, I think their range is from 30 to 34 odd, so age-wise, and I really think I should get some youth into this team. So I did look at Mariappa. It took me, you may see here that I'm taking a long time to find him for some reason. I just couldn't see him. But because I remember that he used to play as a centre-back for Reading, and I think it was Watford he used to play for, so I was just checking. Patrick Bamford is a really good player, but he's only on loan. So I'm probably going to look at signing him permanently next season, because I do think he has bags of potential. And MacArthur's going in goal for Hennessy, because Hennessy is older and worse, but McCarthy, he's worse than Speroni, but he is still better. So these are my options for centre-backs to bring in. I've got Phil Jones from Man United, Jonas Okore from Aston Villa, Winston Reid from West Ham. Then I've got Paul Pogba's brother, I believe, or could be cousin. Then I've got Rekic from Marseille, Joel Matip from Schalke, Toprak from Bayer Leverkusen, Marco Bartra from Barcelona, and Mustachio from Villarreal. So my cam options are Adam Lallana from Liverpool, Sigurdsson from Swansea, Sissoko from Newcastle, and Lewis Holtby from Schalke, and Martin Odegaard on a possible loan. I've got Agallo, Origi, Perez, Batshuayi, Fekir, Rossi and Correa as my striker options. So the two main centre-backs that I'll probably go for is Okore and Phil Jones, as I think they would be the most realistic signings, possibly not Jones, but to bring in. However, I will also probably look at bringing Marco Bartra in. I would go for Joel Matip, but he does have 12 months left on his contract, which means I can sign him in January for nothing on a pre-contract. Cam-wise, I'm probably be looking at getting Sigurdsson as my main cam to bring in. However, I would look at Lewis Holtby, who is another outstanding option. However, I'd be happy with any of these players on this list, because I do think they'll make a difference in the league. So striker-wise, all of them are good, but my main three are Batshuayi, Fekir and Rossi, as I think they'll all be clinical for me and be able to shoot me up the table with their goal scoring. However, Origi, Agallo and Perez and also Correa could also be good signings. So what I do now is I just check everything's all set up before I advance forward to the first game of the season. Not season, of the tournament, which I can't remember who it was against. It was, I think they're a Portuguese team. I can't pronounce the name, so I'm not going to butcher it. I was going to make a signing before it or put in a bid, but I thought I'd wait to see how the team performs before I look at the main position to go for. So I did go straight into the match now. I do accidentally skip halfway through this because I forgot that I was recording and needed this. So I do watch the first little bit, but I can't remember at what minute I like fast forward through. So as you can see, we've got a yellow card, then Wilfred Zaha scored. And then see, I just skipped now. Wickham and MacArthur got the other goals. So you can see we're just updating the stats, and we are top after the first game. And I do now go check my office, I do believe, because I do have 9 messages. So I just update France respectively, then just what they want me to do in the Shield or the pre-season tournament. My domestic cup objective is to get to the round of 16, which I think is doable. Just all the normal, we should look for this, we should get this. I don't really care about that because I prefer to make my own opinion. It's just, and then our league objective is to finish mid-table. I'm hoping to get into the top half of the table at least, maybe to get an 8th or 7th odd position. I know that might sound a bit unrealistic, but I think that's what we can get. So now I go into my shortlist, and I do put an inquiry in for Corey. And I don't think I put any more. Oh, I do put one in for Joel Matip, because I just thought they may let him off for cheap. So we'll see what they come back with. And I do just definitely check that he's got 12 months left on his contract, which I thought he did anyway. Centre mids, I do inquire for Sigurdsson. I was about to remove him, but I didn't. And then Lewis Holtby I also inquire for. And then I move on to my strikers, and I do put in an inquiry for Giuseppe Rossi, for Fekir, and also Batshuayi. I do believe I put one in for Fekir. Yeah, I do put one in. So then we do, I think that's the only inquiries we put in for the time being, and we do move on to advance towards the next game of the season, which is against the Russian league team. We do get our inquiries back. 14 million for Sigurdsson, I wasn't willing to pay that. Lewis Holtby, they wanted 10 million, 13 million for Giuseppe Rossi, 19.5 for Batshuayi, and 20.5 for Fekir. I was taking Batshuayi and Fekir straight out. Sigurdsson, I wasn't willing to pay that 14, so I do try and go down to a £8 million bid. I was going to put a player in, but I didn't in the end. So as we continue through, Lewis Holtby, I leave him there because I wasn't sure whether I was going to sign him or not. So I do continue now. Sorry for that little pause there, guys, just had a bit of a cough. Yeah, but I do leave Holtby there, and I don't think I put in a bid for Giuseppe Rossi just yet, but I do go and start selling some of my older players. Speroni, 36, he's just going to decline. Hengland I list up as well. I was going to list Galini, but I looked at my centre-backs and that would leave me with only 3, and I've just got to be prepared for the worst. If I do have a bit of a spare budget left and I can bring in a lone centre-back, he will make way for him. I also go back to the age now. That's why McCarthy stayed there. Shamak's also going. I don't think I'll use him a lot. I was going to sell Shednak, however, I think he can play a role in the club. Punchin also gets put on the transfer list. So we do move on now to the Russian team name, who I'm also not going to pronounce because I can butcher them. Just don't worry, I can pronounce the PPL players teams. So Okore's one comes back with a 10.5 million request, and and then also Joel Matip, but they want a 16.5. I could just get him for 3. So we don't put in a bid just yet for Okore, but we do go into this next game that I don't skip halfway through this time. So as you can see, nothing really happens. Then Scott Dan gets an injury. We've got to hope that doesn't affect him in the long term, because he will be a pivotal role when we go into the Prem. So we're going to hope for a minimum of like 3-4 weeks. Well, maximum, not minimum, so he can be there. But we do get a goal in the 67th minute from Kabai, and that should wrap up the game for us, which it does. So we get 2 wins out of 2, and we've got 6 points. So as they're updating the facts and figures, as you can see, we are top of the league, and we need to get a win to make sure that we definitely go through, because you don't know what's going to happen in the next games. So as you can see, we do get the email back with a player injury. That's just international management just telling us that we can get a job. Luckily, Dan's only out for 2 weeks, so it could have been worse. So as you can see, they do want 40 million, and I don't think they would budge on that, so I have given up hope on Sigurdsson. Giuseppe Rossi, we do go back in now to have a cheeky check of him, just to see what's happening. We do offer a player, I think we end up offering Fraser Campbell, which we do. He's 27, he's not going to get in the team very much. We do up it to 9 million, just to see what they say. So, and then after that, we're just waiting to see what he comes back and says. So, I do have a long pause here for some reason, where I'm thinking of what to do. And then Akore, I was about to put in a bid for him, but I decided not to at the current time. So we go into this game now. I'm just fixing up the problem. I have to take, oh, not MacArthur. I have to take Dan out and put in Brad Hangeland. Just had to check that Dan wasn't on the bench. I didn't want to go out and then back in. So we're playing Nantes now in the, they're from the French league. I think Ligue 1 they're in. So they won their first game but lost their second game. So now we get an early goal, 6 minutes with Kabay with his second goal in 2 games. And Sigurdsson, butchered that name, got a yellow card for them. Going into half-time, just before half-time, Jason Punchin gets a goal. And we bring on some subs, Chu Young comes on, and we do get a third goal with James MacArthur. Wickham comes off for Campbell, and they make a few substitutions, but we do get a 4th goal in the 87th minute to wrap that up, and we are going through to the semi-final of the tournament. So as you can see, we're playing RSC Anderlecht in the Belgian Pro League, and we do get some tournament prize money. We do have a transfer offer here now from Sunderland for Jason Punchin. I do offer 3 million. I do say, "I'll come back, give us 3 million, you can take him." That 3 million we can put towards another player. So as you can see, it's unacceptable from Fiorentina. So I might go back in for him again. I'm not quite sure yet. So I do look at what they said, and they just said they weren't interested, so we do go back. You can see in the bottom that we haven't set training up. I'm just going to wait till we've got all the signings in. So I'm not going to play any more games in this episode. We'll probably have those 2 games simulated in the next game and the start of the Premier League. So if you have enjoyed it, a sub would be much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Crystal Palace Career Mode. Can't wait to see you in the next episode.